Welcome, friends, to Quick Flicks. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of Indian spirituality to explore two of its most intriguing groups, the Aghori and the Naga Sadhus. Both are devotees of Lord Shiva, but their lifestyles, practices, and beliefs differ significantly. Stick around as we uncover some lesser known facts about these mysterious figures. Core beliefs and deities. Both Naga Sadhus and Aghoris belong to the Shaiva tradition, meaning they worship Lord Shiva. However, Aghoris also revere Ma Kali and consider Dattatreya their guru. Naga Sadhus typically offer bilva leaves, ash, and water to the Shiva Lingam. Aghoris practice three types of sadhana: Shiva sadhana, Shaiva sadhana, and Smashna sadhana. In Shaiva sadhana, they may offer meat and alcohol to Shiva. Appearance and lifestyle. Naga sadhus often live naked, covering their bodies with ash. Aghoris sometimes wear animal skins or may also go naked. They adorn themselves with rudraksh malas and human skull necklaces. Kapalis. Naga sadhus typically reside in monasteries, akhars, while Aghoris often inhabit cremation grounds. Dietary habits. Regarding diet, Naga sadhus are generally vegetarian, subsisting on alms collected once a day. They are supposed to beg only at 7 houses in a day or else they have to remain empty stomach. Aghoris, however, may consume meat, and sometimes even human flesh as part of their rituals. This is connected to their Shaiva sadhana practice. Sadhana and training. Becoming a Naga sadhu involves 12 years of rigorous training. The first 6 years are crucial, focusing on brahmacharya, celibacy, the Yajanopavita ceremony, and offering Pinda Dan to their families. They also receive martial arts training. Aghoris practice sadhana in cremation grounds, with Lord Shiva as their guru. They meditate on corpses, and are believed to gain divine powers during their tapasya. Social interaction and public appearances. Naga sadhus are prominently seen at the Kumbh Mela, a significant event for them. Aghoris generally avoid public appearances, preferring cremation grounds and caves. While they may attend Kumbh Mela, they often remain discreet. Powers and beliefs. Naga sadhus are believed to teach about the kindness and greatness of God, while Aghoris are believed by some to possess magical powers to help people. Naga sadhus are known as warrior sadhus, while Aghoris are sometimes associated with dark magic, but their main aim is to relinquish flaws and attain supreme power from Lord Shiva. The role of women. Women can also be part of the Naga tradition, known as Naga sadhuis. They undergo strict penance and lead a monastic life. The role of women in the Aghori tradition is less documented. While they may revere Shakti, it's rare for women to publicly identify as Aghoris. The significance of ashes, bhasma, ashes, or bhasma, are significant for both Naga sadhus and Aghoris. Naga sadhus apply bhasma to their bodies after offering it to Shiva, believing it purifies the body and distances them from worldly desires. Aghoris use cremation ashes, symbolizing the transient nature of life and the universe. The use of skulls, kapala. Aghoris use human skulls, called kapalas, for drinking water and meditation. They believe this helps them transcend the distinction between life and death. Naga sadhus typically do not use kapalas. Historical context. Naga sadhus have a history as trained warriors, even reportedly defeating Aurangzeb's army in 1664 to protect the Kashi Vishwanath temple. This highlights their role in defending Hindu temples and traditions. Aghoris, with their focus on renunciation and unconventional practices, have often remained outside mainstream historical narratives. Conclusion. While both Aghoris and Naga sadhus are devoted to Lord Shiva, their paths, practices, and beliefs offer distinct perspectives on spirituality and renunciation. I hope you found this video insightful. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to Quick Flicks for more fascinating content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.